Hello everybody. In this video, we will try to discuss some more interesting things about Ashwini Nakshatra. Ashwini natives likely to be unique in whatever they do and how they are seen, basically. Because Ashwini is the first nakshatra, so you can understand being first is a kind of uniqueness. So that kind of energy is always present in Ashwini natives. They want to be unique and they want to be seen as unique in whatever they do generally. All Ashwini natives have a marked tendency to feel unique in comparison to others. They like to think that they have some special gifts which others do not possess. It's because of being the first nakshatra, we can say. It is true that they have a pioneering approach to things, a special approach, a unique approach to whatever they do. It's not that they only want to be seen like that. Actually, it is like that. They have some uniqueness associated with them. And it is making them a step ahead of the rest, you can understand, right? So in the present day and age, if you observe, they are the ones that they are likely to catch onto the new trends and happenings, the things that are happening in the world. For the first time, those things are very much associated with Ashwini Nakshatra energy. And Ashwini Nakshatra energy people, they want to be unique, they try to do the things unique, they want to be associated with the things of first happening. And one peculiarity of Ashwini natives is that they are moderate eaters and are modest in any circumstance. So they are basically moderate eaters, and we don't know if sun is where their sun is present. It, of course, the other things also matter in a horoscope, not only being an Ashwini native or having more Ashwini nakshatra energy. Even though Ashwini natives are moderate eaters, if their sun is present somewhere in Kritika nakshatra, let us say. So Kritika is, it has a tendency to eat more, right? Generally, the kind of energy, if significant planets are present in Kritika, it's something Kritika is related to Agni, right? So that is one important thing you can see here. So despite their unique qualities, they are not the show off types and are not likely to gloat over their accomplishments. See, they are not the show off types. They are not the show off types, right? So they are straightforward in their approach, they are unique in their approach, and also they are not the show off types. See, they may want to, have a very good appearance. They want to spend some considerable amount of time on their, dressing and this kind of beauty things. But at the same time, it's not for show off. It's for, a kind of to look good, right? That is the only thing. It's not a kind of show off thing. So you can find the difference, I think. So they have a thing about being self sufficient and don't like to be dependent on others. Even they don't want someone to tell something about what they have to do, right? They don't want to be told what they have to do. So that is one important thing. They're very much, independent. They're self-sufficient. Don't like to be dependent on others. So Ashwini is a very resourceful nakshatra. It's a first nakshatra and it's a very resourceful nakshatra. So natives under its influence always seem to come up with the required resources under the most adverse circumstances, as if by magic, you know. So they seem to come up with some required resources even under the most adverse conditions. Just like a magic. That's the power that they got from God, you can say. Even in the adverse circumstances, uh, that's where it's a kind of lucky nakshatra as well. The kind of resources they get in even in the adverse situations is really awesome, right? So they are competent and sincere about whatever they do. Competent and sincere. Although they may lack the discipline and endurance required to achieve perfection. So they just try to move on from one thing to another. That endurance is lacking in them. You know, it's one of the quickest nakshatra. One of the quickest nakshatras in the zodiac. You can say it is there's no comparison with other nakshatras when quickness is taken as a reference. This quickness, what happens because of this quickness, they don't want to be stick on to one thing for a long time, right? So as that endurance is lacking, they just move on to another thing very quickly. And Ashwini natives who have endurance are often very successful at whatever they choose to do. And if other than Ashwini Nakshatra, if they have some other Nakshatra energies which are giving this capacity of endurance, then yes, they are the most successful because they are the quickest, they are intelligent, they are also luckiest, and at the same time, if they are able to stick to one particular thing for a long time, they can excel in that, right? They can excel in that, and of course they are going to be very successful automatically. So this endurance factor usually comes from other factors, other nakshatras, right? So with Ashwini it cannot come. Generally Ashwini people do not have endurance, do not have patience to stick on to others. Even though they are helpful, they help. Even see, if you take the helpful nature of Ashwini, they are very helpful, but they cannot be helpful for a long time, right? They are helpful for a short time. They do task for a short time, and if it requires some long term assurance, they just give that responsibility to other nakshatras. And in keeping with its basic nature and disposition, ancient Vedic rishis saw this as an active nakshatra. So you can see it's not a very big surprise that this nakshatra is, uh, it's very active. It's basically the beginning of everything. Beginning is something like the movement, right? So when the beginning is not so active, then how it moves to next. So basically the beginning thing is considered as an active nakshatra, because before the beginning there was nothing, and after nothing you see something, some movement. So that movement is actually, obviously it's an activeness only. So you have to consider Ashwini as an active nakshatra. So it is a basic primordial force which introduces activity into passivity of time and space, you can say. Because before beginning there was no thing, and it is the beginning, as Ashwini is the beginning. So it has to be considered as an active nakshatra. So the original creative spark, cannot be passive. The the original creative spark which is coming in this time and space, right? So that must be considered as an active nakshatra. So it belongs to the there are some varnas. There is some varna system in you know in Vedic uh, you know Vedic literature, or you can say Vedic region, that where that's where you can find there are four varnas. That's Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So in this, Brahmana is related to intelligence and knowledge, right? It doesn't mean intelligence is only limited to Brahmana. The more intelligence you can find in in other varnas also, but they're only connected to this one. That's where this particular thing is highlighted generally when you talk about Brahmana, right? So intelligence, knowledge, mainly knowledge, right? And also related to the religion, priestism, or whatever you say, this kind of religious things. So right, so that's where Brahmana is coming into the picture. And another one is Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So Kshatriya is related to you know it's related to intelligence. It's also related to, mainly related to warfare, and also taking care of the people around them, right? Being a king, they have to take care of their people. And it's also related to enjoyment, entertainment, this kind of things as well, right? And another one, the third one, is Vaishya. Vaishya is mainly related to intelligence. It's more and more related to intelligence, also logic. Vaishya as Varna is mainly related to intelligence and logic, and also quickness in doing the calculation. So mathematics, if you observe, right, mathematics, accounts, right, mainly the academics, the regular academics. So that's where this Vaishya is coming into the picture. And business activities, you just imagine how much intelligence and quickness must be present for a businessman, right? So that quality, and also helping others, right? Helping others is another uh, important thing present in Vaishya Varna. And Shudra is mainly related to the caliber, the kind of caliber, the amount of work they do is enormous. Shudra people, they do more and more, right? Shudra Varna people, they do more and more work. Of course, they have more and more intelligence also, because just doing hard work is not enough for things to move. Let us say agricultural activities. Without intelligence, we cannot produce more uh, things, more products. So it requires more hard work basically, right? Compared to intelligence, it requires more hard work. And that's where the Shudra people, they have intelligence, they have, even sometimes they have more intelligence than the other three Varnas, but their idea is, here hard work. They may have the capability to do 24 hours hard work even. And some of them are also they have the capabilities of doing wars and this kind of things also, but predominantly here the energy goes to hard work. And see, if you observe Ashwini Nakshatra, it is a Vaishya Nakshatra. Vaishya is related to merchant, it's related to business. So so you can see that the original creative spark is a businessman here, but our ancient Vedic rishis did not did not have this kind of indication. It's not that the beginning is related to something related to merchant. It's not that one, right? Because see, the kind of intelligence Ashwini people have, Ashwini energy have, the kind of quickness they have, the kind of helping others, right? So such kind of activities, and the kind of leadership activities, so including all these, right? So only a businessman can have all these qualities, intelligence, quickness, leadership, and also helping others, and also thinking very, very logically, thinking logically, right? This is where our ancient rishis stuck with Ashwini, uh, uh, you know uh, and relating it to the Vaishya Varna, because Vaishya Varna is very famous for logic. So that's where our ancient rishis, you know allotted Vaishya Varna for this particular nakshatra. So doing any kind of business requires a lot of initiative, right? You just observe how our ancient rishis thought, the logical thinking, and also when you want to do business, it requires a lot of initiative, right? Lot of initiative, and there is no other nakshatra that can promote, initiative more than Ashwini. So when a person is doing business, what he requires basically initiative. Without initiative, ness, you cannot establish a business at all. You see very big businesses, how they actually take into their form. It's by initiative. So as it has a lot of initiative, as it is the beginning, because before that there was nothing, and suddenly there is something, that is Ashwini, the first one, and the initiativeness is very, very huge, because before that there was nothing. So it's very, 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 very justifiable, you can say, when you allocate Ashwini to the merchant class, the Vaishya Varna system. So it automatically gets connected to all kinds of business activities on the material as well as other planes of existence. So business out here cannot just be seen as buying and selling goods. There is another aspect also, according to Vedic rishis, right? Because nowadays you see in the material plane, you can see the business means just selling and buying, right? So it relates to interaction and exchange on many different levels. The interaction and exchange, if you see the Vaishya Varna people, especially in India, right? The businessman in India, the regular businessman, based on their family heritage, the kind of interaction and exchange they have is very, 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 very good. That's the kind of interaction and exchange they have, right? Interaction, initiative. So the primordial unconscious motivation, the primordial unconscious motivation, unconsciousness to consciousness, that is actually interaction, that is seen as a kind of interaction and exchange, right? So Ashwini natives can be seen to be good at doing business and making money. Doing business and making money. Ashwini is related to Vaishya Varna just because of its initiativeness, interaction and exchange, and doing business and making money. That is the energy it has, the kind of interaction, the kind of exchange, the kind of initiative, right? So that is where Ashwini is actually belonging to the Vaishya Varna system. And it is a male nakshatra. So, in order to understand the energy of a nakshatra, our ancient rishis also uh, allocated gender to a nakshatra. It is a male nakshatra. Since it is the first nakshatra, and you can say uh, one number one, generally we relate it to a male aspect in nature. So this nakshatra projects the the masculine qualities like because it has some masculine qualities. If you observe, what is that? The drive it has, right? The drive, the ambition, and logic and initiative. Drive, ambition, logic, and initiative is more important here, right? So it is also mainly connected to male planets. If you observe the uh, if you see Mars, right, it is in the, actually Ashwini is in the sign of Aries, and Aries lord is Mars. Aries lord is Mars. So Mars means it's purely a male force, right? So Mars, and also another planet you can connect to Ashwini is Sun, because Sun exalts in Ashwini. Sun exalts in Ashwini. So you can see Sun is also related to male energy, right? So based on that, you can say Ashwini is mainly, it's even its presiding deities are also, to an extent, you can say male. Brahma or Ganesha. And of course, Ashwini Kumaras are mainly attributed to the herbal, uh, uh, you know, herbal knowledge of this particular nakshatra. And of course, Ashwini Kumaras, even though they have, some half of the body as a kind of female related, but of course, the whole thing is they are called as Ashwini Kumaras basically, right? So you can say Ashwini is a male nakshatra. It's very much into masculine nature. So that's where male gender is, basically allocated to uh, Ashwini nakshatra. So thanks for watching this video. In the other video we will understand much more interesting things about Ashwini nakshatra.